Hello and welcome to our podcast on educational reforms. I have a wonderful guest with me on the show today. We have Arvinda Tandir Pavi, who's been doing a lot of research into how to really bring changes in the education and how to keep children inspired and basically prepare the next generation of people who will build the next great thing. So I will quickly hand it off to Arvinda. He's going to walk us through a presentation on basically an introduction on what should be the changes we should bring into the system. This will be a series of episodes or podcast sessions on all these changes, which will eventually give us a better education system and better educated students, children, and the next generation itself. So, with that, I'll hand it off to Arvinda. Arvinda, it's yours.
Thanks, Giri. It was very encouraging for me to start this kind of sessions from you, motivated from you. And we have been discussing these concepts from long time. And what is the motivation for me to take up this topic and coming to this far away from the governmental or all those systems and the people and experts keeping their hands and eyes and bodies and everything into that change. I'm still away from that, far away from that system. But my hope, I have found something which I've shared with a couple of people, even in sharing in the different forums. People appreciate, but they are not able to take it forward, or some people are not willing to take it forward. Some people are convinced, but they don't have the hands or legs to take it forward. So my idea is to, instead of telling it to many people many times, so I will start publishing these videos. I have written couple of papers, around 10 papers, and put it on the drive and shared with the education ministry and the PMO, whatever possible channels I'm sharing from last 2000 from 2018, 17, 18 onwards, when that committee was formed to change the education system. Even I have met the chairman of the education committee, Professor Sridhar, couple of times. He was also impressed with some of the my arguments or my points, and he asked me to prepare a presentation, and then he sent it to somebody, and after that I didn't receive any response. And I don't have a reach of education ministry, or I'm not a political guy, or I don't have a tags like I'm a Dr. Arvind or PhD in education or something. Those kind of tags are not there. But with a lot of common sense and experience of growing up, two kids, seeing around with the schools around, with my own self experience of self learning, getting the teachers, different aspects of education motivated me to come up with this kind of theories and concepts, and I believe that it is practical and it should be possible to change the system. It's not just about talking about theories and so many other
Uh,
imaginary things. So coming to the, you have any
Yeah,
questions?
absolutely. No, not a question, a comment. So I remember having this discussion with you a number of times. I mean, I really find it inspiring that you have take time out to think about the larger picture than just our own kids and how our kids are going through education system. You are also thinking of how can we bring cultural changes, social changes, and how can the governments influence, how can individuals influence. So a lot of different topics. So I was really excited to hear about it. Yeah, like you said, I agree on a few things, some things we don't agree, but that's the whole point of the discussion. I think it should definitely reach a larger audience. So, yeah, take it on.
Yeah. Thanks again, Girish, for your motivating for me to take up this again. So, how do we start, and what is the final goal for me? For me, in this podcast, I'm thinking of discussing various aspects of whatever from my imaginations or my experiences and my solutions to the current problems and the future, thinking about the overall system and approach, everything. I have a different ideas, and I have identified key areas where we need to really need to drastically change. It's like a cancer where it has grown beyond limits, and if you need to remove a cancer, you have to really do a surgery. So without a surgery, changing, like, okay, we change certain textbooks, or we change, okay, topics, or okay, instead of 3 years we make 4-year degree, or it doesn't add any it is not adding any value to the society. That is my perception. And people will think, oh, it is not practical, society thinks in a different way. But I have a solution. One thing I'm very sure, like, any problem that point it out, or if I say there is a problem with the policy, and I will try to explain the problem as well as I'll give a solution towards the end. That solution, if we try to apply, I'm sure it will go to heal the system and it's going to change the system. So how do we start? So today we will just have a quick overview of the NEP that was proposed way back in 2020s. Then it was approved in 2021. Then there was a national curriculum framework. Then there is NCRT is changing textbooks now and adding different subjects to the curriculum. Art will be a subject, sports will be a subject. So many other things are discussed, and they're implementing the changes in different aspects. So I have different pointers to each of the areas. So I would like to start today with the current NEP, my understanding from the initial draft of 500 pages document. Then there is an approval document of 50, 60 pages. So all those things I have gone through and I have noted down certain points, and based on that points and my own thinking, my experience of storytelling or a theater person or a dancer or different areas I have an experience. Culminating all those experience, I'm trying to provide a long-term, very, very long-term framework for an entire system, not just for Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or okay, CBSE, ICSE. We want to break those walls. So how do we do that? I will conclude it towards the end. So today we'll start, I'll just share one diagram, which is a very famous diagram which everybody knows it. And we have discussed about this many forums. People have discussed this diagram, and I am sure the policymakers of NEP. Are you able to see my screen? So our education system, so the if you read this diagram, that will summarizes the entire current system, whether it is CBSE, ICSE, or any system. So you are going to, somebody sitting on the chair is going to evaluate you based on certain 10 questions or 20 questions. You read up or do something and come up and then do some exam, finish. Okay, we might change it to credit system or we might change it to some technology usage, but overall approach. So what Einstein famous saying is like everybody is genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is a stupid thing. So the 90% of the people are judged like this because 5 to 10% people, they are like genius. I mean, they are extraordinary where they can swim across, they can climb a tree, they can swim, they can do all the things. But people who can only climb a tree, people who can only swim are judged with different aspects, which is continuously done from the grade 1 or even pre 3 years, 4 years kid to the degree, to the master degree, to the PhD. Everywhere this principle is applied. So how do we break this?
So the basic question you're raising here is that we are trying to judge children on the same set of skills, but in
Ha,
reality, not everybody has the same set of skills. They may be good at different skills, but we don't have a exam system that will
ha.
adapt to what the child's skills are. That's
That is
probably
the
what you're saying.
that is the symptom.
Yeah.
But because of this symptom, because of this approach, what we did was let everybody learn all the subjects, same subjects. So the corollary to this, if you take this concept, so what the system adapted was, okay, everybody let's learn English, let's learn history, let's learn physics, chemistry, whatever. Okay, now I say art is very important, so let's everybody learn art. So we have now everybody will learn art and we judge them. Everybody will learn history, will judge them. So both are go hand in hand. This principle adapted some time ago by I don't call Macaulay system or whichever system. People have a very concrete like okay, Macaulay did this, but who prevented us from changing it, and or who is preventing us from changing it now? So this is
There
the
is
stuff.
a Yeah, there is also one popular opinion, right, where people say that this whole system of education was invented to create workers for the Industrial Revolution. So that is where they use that uniform system of exams, system of education. So everything was put into some form of uniformity. So is
Correct.
that also something that contributes to the problem?
Yeah, that was started for that kind of a output required. But how much that output is required also determines the how many people should be done that way. So 100% of people doesn't need to be trained that way. Like 100% of people will not become workers, right?
Yes.
Or in one field workers. I mean, now there are a lot of types of works. So if you make 100 people to learn the same skill, like reading and writing, history, English, they will be output will be same. 100 people will be the same thing. But you don't have 100 people required for that skill. So the both it started for some reason. Only that many people used to go for that skill upgradation. But now we are universalizing, saying this is the way to educate a person. Everybody should go through the school. Everybody should go through this whole system. Okay, you pass a degree, you did something. Yeah, achievement in life is, oh, you have to enter into the system. You have to go out of the system. So that it is all intertwined. Like, I mean, one goes with the other. So it started with something, it developed into something. Now we are again saying we want to get rid of that system, but we are universalizing, saying everybody should go through the system. So it is very difficult if we go with this approach without understanding the fundamentals. Means, why do we need to get educated? What is education? How do we define? People, more than definition, if you know the what does the people need to understand or do something in life, what is required for it, if we know that, then we'll come up with a proper system.
So one line catches my interest in the slide that you're showing. So the system, of course, produces a lot of people who conform well to the system that has been set up, and we grade them, give them the best marks. But there is also going to be a whole bunch of people who don't fit that, and they will live their whole life believing that it is stupid. So that's
Yes,
that's another
it,
interesting thing.
it is stupid, and it will
Yeah.
build an insecurity into their life. Their life will be miserable, though they might have money or they might have anything, but they will not be enjoying to the fullest extent. So there are so many aspects of the life which you are ignoring by saying education is the ultimate. Education means schooling. Schooling means degrees. Degrees means something. Everything is interwoven. So life has become so in Kannada word we say saralikrita. It has become linear. But life is actually not linear, right? Child is born is okay, you have to put him into the school. He has to pass 10th standard, otherwise PUC. Okay, whatever. That system, why are we making people to believe that that is the ultimate system will produce some miracles? It will not. Definitely will not generate miracle. For Vishwesvaraya or somebody, some geniuses, any system is okay for
Yeah,
them.
not for everybody. So there will be some people who will top the system, who will
Yes,
come out
yes,
according to the
yes.
system. But that
100%.
doesn't mean the rest of the people are of no use.
No use, and we are pushing them to do go through the system, and ultimately after that, and they are clueless, and they are dependent on a government should give the job or somebody should give the job, or so many negative aspects of the system which will resurface after their prime age is over. After they become 21, 22, 23, they will realize, oh, whatever I did for another 10 years was very useless. But their prime age is gone, like teenage, 13, after 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 are the very, very prime age of their life, which they have not explored at all, which is completely locked up, believing that this is the ultimate thing that we are doing. Okay, so this is a kickstart for the my overall philosophy and the PPT that I prepared. So we'll touch a couple of points today, and then we will look at the future of these arguments, how it evolves. It's not just for the sake of an argument like, okay, NEP is bad, okay, we are not doing good, oh, or I want to pat my back and say we are extremely good, our legacy is very good, we have a very great history. I'm not going to go through all those aspects of patting or bashing or okay, Modi government will fail because education system is bad or something. No, I'm not going to go into that kind of an arguments. I want
Well, they
a
have tried. They have tried. I can't say they have not done their job.
everybody will try. Everybody will try. See, everybody will they try in their own way. Ultimately, we have to find a very good solution. Like it's like a cancer, the medical research. It's a continuous process.
So
A
if I
cancer
remember, there was
treatment.
one other question that we were discussing. So the question was, who should solve this problem? Is it the government who should solve it for us, or we as individuals should solve it? So I think that is also something we touched upon that. Maybe in your discussion, we can also look at that aspect.
Will come when we look at the solution. Maybe we will know the scale of that problem and the scale of the solution that we are discussing. Who should get it? It's better if somebody in that level get involved, and slowly it should sink into the people mindset also. Like UPI, we invented, and UPI became a number one solution for us for financial transactions, right? It took several years for us to adapt and get into the system. So, but initially there was a resistance. Oh, UPI will not work. We don't have a power. We don't have Village doesn't look at it. They don't understand everything. But now everybody who doesn't understand English also, they will do the transactions. So we should come to that level, but that kind of solutions we have to provide. So if we have a robust solution and a plan for several years, consistently 10 to 20 years, if we are able to work towards it, probably we should be able to, because it's a very slow process. Okay, coming to the my presentation beginning. So are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. The approach that I took was, let's go through in detail of the proposal. So on the proposals, I have highlighted a couple of points here. And then I looked at from my ideas perspective, my what do I see as a problems in the proposal? I would call it as a gaps. So I won't say it's the bad, but I would say definitely there is a gap in the approach and the aspects.
So the NEP proposal was also uh, co-created with the citizens, right? Though they had set up a forum, they
Yes.
took some sections of society and asked them to provide feedback. I think you're also one of the proponents of that. So how was that? Was that helpful? Did people have the same kind of suggestions, or was it very diverse?
I'm not sure. Like 2 lakh people, I heard like 2 lakh suggestions were taken from different forums and then from the different corners of the country. But at least in different forums they attended on the from the chairman of the NEP, presentation of chairman of NEP, and I'm also associated with Bharati Shikshan Mandal where I attended. I gave this presentation also. Even there also, these kind of discussions, I didn't see that kind of ideas from the forum or they have thought through. So they we have gone with a very standard problem definition and solution definitions, and there is no creative approach to okay or radical. People call it as radical. I don't know why. What is the meaning of radical? But if you say something which doesn't fit my argument, they will call it
That is
radical. But
radical. Yes, absolutely.
I don't understand that. If it solves a problem, how do you if a chemotherapy solves a cancer problem, how can you call it as a radical approach? The way we think itself is corrupted maybe.
What?
The first two slides probably we can go through today, and so the NEP started with saying we are going to change the entire education system. Okay, though the education starts from 3 and higher education for all age groups and all streams. That was the goal they started, and it explains about the different approaches, content, implementation guideline, financial implications, structure. It discusses a lot of aspects of the education system. And there are some 10, 20, 30, 40 places it mentions about emphasis on Bharatiyata of education system. Always talks about Bharatiyata. So they have started some different forums also. Bharatiya education system, I read so many places Bharatiyata of education system. Flexibility to enter and exit the system at any point of time. That was one of the changes from the previous education system. But somewhat an extension only, because previously also if you quit at the 8th grade, sometime you can also take private exams, 10th standard, 12th standard also you can take exams. So it is not a big radical change basically.
Option was there, but it was not popular. People
Not
wouldn't do that.
universal. It was not propagated properly. And we have started this NIOS and all those things. So it is also similar. NIOS is there from last couple of years. So this is not a very new proposal. And also it sets a goal like by 2040, we should create a world-class education system. See, regardless of the social, economic background, whatever, it's a very noble goal. So we have a 15, 20 years timeline, which is a good timeline to change any system. Also, it proposes revision of all aspects of education structure, including its regulation, governance, new system that is aligned with the aspirations goal of 21st century, etc., while building up. What I mean in this point is like structure means like they wanted to start from education at 3, 4, one group, then 8, 9, 10, 11, one group, then 4 years another, then high school merged into college and high school merged. So grade 9, 10, 11, 12 will be 4 years. So these kind of structural changes also proposed, and they want to introduce different new subjects into the curriculum. So also they talk about traditions and value systems, which I have a different ideas, which I'll talk about in my future slide.
So when you say tradition and value system, we are talking about social studies in school, all the history lessons we learned.
No, no, that is subjects, topics on the history. Traditions and value systems means like moral subjects or Ramayana or Mahabharata, or keeping some traditional knowledge or some local traditional knowledge. Different subjects that are local to our traditions, or it could be part of the social science also. And I have a different ideas to it, which I'll come back to in the future slides. So it also emphasizes on the development of the creative potential of each individual. So it always stresses like always they should be creative, we should have cognitive skills. So many other jargons are spoken in the proposal.
That's the other objection I have to the general trend, not the NEP itself, but people also stress a lot saying that people should be creative. I mean, why should somebody be creative? It should be natural for them. If they are not creative, they are not creative. I mean, why should it become something we impose on the children? So that's also something I find interesting.
Huh. And the problem is you suppress their creativity, then you say you have to build the creative potential. See, the problem is the approach itself is going to kill your creative potential. Then
Fair.
you say for this creativity increase, you study this, you do the art form, whatever, whatever. So this is the what do you say in English? You saw the oxymorons or
Oxymoron. Yep.
oxymoron. So these are the problems with our experts of the approach. Who has, I don't know. Why don't they get these ideas? I'm not sure, because I'm not a very great expert or anything. But I am getting these thoughts. But I don't know why those people are not getting those thoughts.
I understand. This is a common sense approach. I very much agree with what you're saying. It should be the
Hopefully,
same.
those committee or that expert should get right. I'm not
Yes.
sure why they don't get it, or
So
they are getting and suppressing it.
since we are saying common sense, it should have occurred to everybody. But looks like it is
Exactly.
not that.
At
Looks
least the people who thinks about it.
it looks like it is not common.
Common.
Okay.
So, cognitive capacities, so foundational capacities, literacy and numeracy, higher order cognitive. So all these things, they will say we have to build systems such a way that these things are social, ethical, emotional capacities. They talk about so many other these jargons.
Thought that comes to me is if you
Mm.
go back to our older education system before the Western education system came, even if you go to Gurukulas, I don't think they focused on things like social, ethical, emotional, those kind of things. It was just natural. They used to come to the Gurukula to learn a certain subject, to become pandits in Vedas or Ramayana, Mahabharata, or maybe even some skills that they use in that age. Maybe they would just follow that. I don't know if they were teaching things in a systematic manner, like you will learn
See,
social skills, you will learn emotional things. I don't know.
see, human behavior, if you study, those things cannot be taught in the school. See, these are all the social aspects as well as the family, your country, your philosophies, your drive society, how does it drive? So many aspects will contribute to the many of your life's behavior. The I think I'll go in detail in the future slides also. The problem with our whole system approach is we want everything to be done in the school.
Correct.
So that is one of the biggest problems of the current system or in the
Good one.
future system what we are building.
No, that's a good one.
Everything should, all problems should be solved in school only.
Correct. The only thing parents will ask is, what has the school done for us? Why should the school do anything for you?
Not only
Sure,
that,
they will give
your
you some
patriotic.
system to follow. Rest should happen at home.
See, knowledge can be given. People not able to understand. I can give you information. I can make you clarity. I can give you the more and more topics or knowledge or any kind of knowledge. You cannot give ethics. You cannot give patriotism. See, so the 50% of irrational things cannot be taught by textbook. The biggest problem with our approach, or you call it Macaulay, British, or whatever it is currently, we are trying to push the school, thinking that school will solve all your problems.
Correct.
If somebody is throwing a garbage in the road, I was seeing somebody in our layout talking like, oh, the schools should start teaching how to manage the garbage and everything. What? It's a common sense.
Exactly. So why are we overburdening schools with everything?
Not
And
only
we're asking,
overburdening, it is not possible, it is impossible.
not possible.
See, you want garbage system, okay, environmental science, you want sex education, you want history, economics, what and all you want to teach in school. So then another pros I would call teacher. The systems, the proposal says teachers should be the center of the education system. It will help the re-establish the teachers at all levels. So the biggest gap in the current system is teachers are not well trained. All those things everybody knows it. It's
Uh,
not, but if
huh.
your approach itself is wrong, this will create another problem. Anyway, we'll discuss it later. But
Again, we are putting the responsibility on one person, saying that I will not solve it, but the teacher will be enabled to solve everything. That's what we say. And then we can come back
everything,
and say our teachers are not good. We didn't produce good teachers. We can keep blaming those
exactly.
things.
Exactly. So all these things will go together, right, hand in hand. It's like if your disease is something else, you are treating something else. So new education policy must provide to all students, irrespective of their place of residence, quality of education system with particular focus on historically marginalized, disadvantaged, underrepresented groups. Education is a great leveler and is the best tool for achieving economic and social mobility, inclusion, equality. This statement is very, very important because people are pushed in all the levels saying that schools are the most important thing. You are the greatest achiever in life if you pass the schooling or degree or something.
The sentence itself makes sense to me. So I'm not against the that particular sentence says education is a great leveler, which is true. So if you have 10 people who have different levels of education, I don't mean the certification or which college he came out from. That's not what I mean, but different stages of understanding the world and how to live in the world. So if I look at education in a broad sense as having knowledge to survive in the world and do something to be productive in the world, that is education. So that is a great leveler. I agree at its broad sense, but I think
But
they will take it as a system.
system as well as subjects. Okay, my point was I would rather say knowledge and the skills are a great leveler,
Yes, yes, I agree.
not education, school, or degrees or anything, any kind of thing. If you have a skill to survive, if you know how to cook, you can cook and very good food and eat. That is a leveler. It's a beautiful system. So we are killing that system and saying you do this, you will become a great leveler. You are economically great. You are
We are yeah. No, we are promoting the education system as the means to achieve that. Now that system is not
achieve that.
correct. Got it.
Exactly. That approach itself will be wrong. If you try to say education, no, knowledge and the skill. What is a knowledge? It could be from any source, anywhere. So that kind of uh, making the people to understand the importance of the knowledge, not the your one first standard, second standard, 10th standard, DUC. That approach we have to try to change in future. Otherwise, we will be struggling and fighting for the same thing another after 10 years also. Initiatives must be in place to ensure that all students from such groups, despite inherent obstacles, are provided various targeted opportunities to enter, excel in the educational system. See, this
Extremely
is the
loaded sentence. Every sentence, I mean, every word in that sentence has
exactly
complexities. To achieve that, every word
complexity,
has complexities.
and there is a lot of baggage for us to understand this. Once we have that baggage, if both baggage, we call it our Gurukula system baggage and this new system baggage. If you don't unbaggage that both the system, you will not find a proper solution for the today. That is the biggest challenge that I saw in the current NEP and the whatever the way we are working. So, and the last 2 points, emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. This they have done 100 times it comes rote learning, rote learning. But the way we are coming up with content, subjects, then grades and everything, I am not sure how they are going to remove this. That we'll discuss in the later part of it. And promoting multilingualism and power of language in teaching and learning. They talk about we have to allow people to learn multi languages, and
No, which is good.
that gives a lot of yeah.
Knowing more languages gives you access to knowledge in that language. So there may be some books or some, what do you say, some knowledge which is inside a community. So only when you know the language, you'll get that out. So that I agree.
Huh. But one catch to this I will tell you. See the okay, we have a state language, Kannada is there. Okay, English somehow we can't skip it now because people are
This
fully
podcast is in
bought about
English,
the
Arvind.
concept. We are doing in English, as well as our society has all bought into the whole English concept.
Yes, yes.
So, if you learn two languages properly, see in life, whatever you comes up, you will learn necessities as and when required. Okay, most of them now also previously Veda Kala or whichever Kala, people who are reading and understanding are only 3%, 5%, 10%, not more than that. Okay, people who learn a language to read some books, okay, read Tamil literature, read the Tirukkural or read Kannada, Kumara Vyasa, this is very limited people.
Because
So we should
some
have a very lean and mean language policy where people will get exposed to the learning language and they will confident in life to learn a new language. See, I'll give one classic example. I went to Kashi last June also. Two times I went last time. One thing I observed, everybody in Kashi, whether it is a Pandit or a boatman or a sweeper, everybody talks in Telugu. Why? See, for your life, if it is required, you go to the city market as a person who, I won't call it as Setu, the community which runs the shops, they suddenly Tamilian comes, he'll talk in Tamil. Suddenly Kannada comes, he'll talk in Kannada. Whether it is half Kannada or whatever it is, he'll talk in Malayalam, whichever language. See, if you want to do a business, you will learn whatever is required to do your business. See, in the childhood, you should not pressurize people to learn this, learn this, learn that. That is important. No. You create them an environment for them to learn whatever they required. So, whether it is okay, Hindi is important because nationally many people are speaking. Oh, Sanskrit is important because our legacy is there. That should not be our approach. Our approach should be Kannada because we are in Karnataka state, that is a state language, we are accepted. English, we cannot leave it now because I'm not calling it international language or anything, but because our people's psyche has bought into it, let's not try to swim the ocean against the current. So English and Kannada, only two language. You learn, kid, let him learn Tamil, Malayalam, whichever he wants to learn later.
there was one recent statement by somebody. I don't know if you have heard of Nilesh Oak. He talks about our uh, dating of Mahabharata, Ramayana, those things. I keep watching his podcast. So that person said something very interesting. In the podcast, he says, I did not know Sanskrit. But today, if you listen to all his talks, no, he's a complete expert on that. So he said, I had no need to learn Sanskrit. I studied English and some other languages and I went on. Only when he came to his middle age and later when he wanted to
Exactly.
understand all the epics and previous Mahabharata, Ramayana, that's when he started reading. And that also he didn't go with a full structure. He didn't start with the
Exactly.
Sanskrit or something. So he started picking small snippets. He learns only that much. Then he tries to understand. So he explained it. Yeah, I kind of agree with what he's saying.
So, what was our philosophy 100 years, 200 years ago was we should not call it a system. Our society or our kings or our system was built naturally. People were not reading Ramayana, reading Mahabharata and everything. It was taught as so through some folk songs or
Just the
through
gist
some
of that. Correct.
through some acharanies, what do we call, or through some Stala Purana, we call it as local stories. So they were all learning all these things naturally. Nobody was sitting and reading the Valmiki Ramayana. Okay, I will read 100 slokas today, tomorrow 200 slokas. Those people are only 2%, 3%. They will let them learn wherever they want. But if you want to have a common framework, we should meet the aspirations of the everybody and make them to understand and become a confident individual in the life. We should not be like pressuring them. Oh, you have to learn Sanskrit because Sanskrit has so much of literature. Oh, he doesn't know Bendre at all. I should put him Bendre songs. He should learn those things. This is a correct approach.
So force feeding something may not be useful, but yeah,
Useful.
as the
And
need comes, he will do it.
he will do it. So we should prepare an individual and we should not take much time for it. He should not take whole life of his time. 20 years of his time is gone. If you are learning that, this is all useless.
So now that is the other trend. People are questioning what is the use of 18 years of education or whatever number of
Exactly.
years we spend. There are
Ex-
questions being
ex-
asked now.
exactly. No, we have to find a solution for it. People should ask questions. If you provide a proper solution, definitely they will latch on to it because that will be have a more meaningful life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because my son or daughter, if you after 21 years, if they come back and say, I don't know what to do, what will I do?
Right. Right. Arvinda, just a
I only made them to, okay, you do engineering, okay, you do your life बन गया. बाद में engineering करके if he comes out and says, no, I don't know what to do, what will I as a parent?
Correct. You now you will have a double dilemma. One, you
Huh.
made him spend so much time going through the system, and now you don't have an answer also.
Is it a
Yeah, I
system
mean, as a
failure or is
parent.
it my fail? Is it my
Yeah,
failure or is it system failure or the country's
correct,
failure? I don't know.
correct, correct.
So as a society, we have to find a proper because we are too much volume. We have too many people. If
Absolutely.
everybody runs behind this kind of a approach, we'll end up in a chaos basically. That's
Absolutely.
what we are in right now.
We are coming close to about 40 minutes into the
Yes,
show,
yes,
Arvinda. Maybe you
yes.
can summarize and we can
So
continue this
the
topic.
our discussions are going very nicely. So I would say today is a kickstarting with the current NEP. My understanding. Hope there are certain changes. Already some people have thought about maybe changed certain things over the course of 4 5 years now. But still, I would like to highlight these things. So in the next session, let's go through the gaps and the other areas.
And
So the I would like to closing like Vivekananda says, education means it should enfoldment and development of the being under the circumstances trying to press it down. So it is not about reading a particular subject or it is not about reading I become a knowledgeable in Vedas or I become knowledgeable in Kannada or no. When a life throws up certain challenges, how you come out of your life, that shows up your education quality of your education or how well you are knowledgeable or how well you are prepared for the life. That how can a system provide such an environment for an individual as a society, as a country? How do we future provide such a system? That's my yeah.
yeah.
So thanks everyone for listening for me for 40 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to the audience and thank you to the host and co-host Arvinda. So looking forward to the next episodes. Maybe we can start discussing some of the solutions.
Sure.
And folks, please comment. Make sure you pass your feedback. Give us some ideas on what you want to see on this show.